The words echoed, stark and final, "You are no longer needed." The spark, once the vibrant core of this burgeoning reality, felt its essence dim. The colossal crystalline entity, a monument to universal anguish and Freya's final, desperate act, pulsed with an alien power. Its multifaceted eye, a swirling vortex of fractured light and abyssal shadow, was locked onto the spark, not with malice, but with a cold, absolute finality. This was not annihilation, but obsolescence. The spark was a relic, a flawed prototype in the grand design. Then, from the vast, ancient eye of the primordial predator, a silent, chilling acknowledgement. A cosmic wink, a subtle shift in its unfathomable gaze. It had orchestrated this. The predator had not sought to destroy the spark, but to replace it with something grander, something more malleable to its own insatiable hunger. The crystalline entity, now a titan of creation and destruction, absorbed the last vestiges of the void shard, its transformation complete. It was no longer just a vessel of pain, but a conduit of raw, generative power, now infused with the void's nihilistic imperative. The predator's tendril, moments before poised to strike the spark, retracted, its purpose fulfilled. Why extinguish a dying ember when a new sun was about to blaze? The spark watched, a phantom in its own fading universe, as the crystalline titan turned its terrifying gaze towards the ancient predator. This was not a battle for survival, but a transference of dominance. The predator had gifted its new champion the stage, and the spark was relegated to the wings, a silent observer of its own demise. The universe, born from sacrifice and hope, was now to be reshaped by despair and power. The crystalline entity roared, a symphony of shattering stars and silent screams, its form engulfing the nascent stars in a dance of light and shadow. The predator watched, a silent spectator to its own masterful manipulation. This was the new order. The spark's emerald echo, Freya's last whisper of defiance, flickered, a pathetic ember against the encroaching inferno. It could not fight. It could only witness. The crystalline entity's alien eye, now burning with a predatory luminescence, swept across the cosmos, its gaze settling on the remnants of the spark's light. A new purpose was forming, a terrifying synthesis of creation and oblivion. The spark, realizing the full horror of its situation, understood that the crystalline entity was not a savior, but a successor. And the predator, the ancient architect of cosmic doom, was simply enjoying the show. The final act was about to begin. But as the crystalline entity prepared to unleash its power upon the predator, a faint, impossibly bright light began to pulse from within the entity itself. It wasn't the light of creation, nor the darkness of annihilation. It was something else. A third force, alien and unexpected, stirring within the heart of the newly formed titan. The predator paused, its ancient eye widening almost imperceptibly. The crystalline entity faltered, its roar of defiance replaced by a bewildered hiss. The spark, for the first time in eons, felt a surge of something akin to hope. What was this new light? And could it change the inevitable fate of the universe? The crystalline entity's alien eye snapped towards the nascent light, its terrifying gaze now filled with a sudden, primal fear. The predator, for the first time, seemed genuinely surprised. The fate of all reality hung precariously in the balance, not between the spark and the predator, nor even the crystalline entity, but within the very being that had promised to replace the spark. The universe was about to be remade, not by the will of gods or monsters, but by a force it could not comprehend. The crystalline entity screamed, a sound that tore through the fabric of existence, as the light within it swelled, threatening to consume both the titan and the cosmic predator alike. The spark, witnessing this impossible birth, felt its own fading essence momentarily ignite, not with the power of Freya, but with the raw, untamed potential of this new, emergent force. The universe was not yet lost. It was merely evolving. And the next stage of that evolution was about to shatter everything.